In 1999, a man named Dwayne Sorensen opened a small coffee shop in Portland, Oregon. He called it Stumptown Coffee Roasters. Within a few years, people were flying into Portland just to taste his coffee. Food critics wrote about it. The specialty coffee world called it one of the most important cafes in America. Sorensen traveled to the farms where his beans were grown. He built direct relationships with the growers. He trained his staff like a craftsman trains an apprentice. Stumptown was not just a coffee shop, it was a movement. By the early 2000s, it had expanded to Seattle, New York, and Los Angeles. Cold brew, cult following, national reputation. And then, in 2015, Peet's Coffee acquired Stumptown entirely. Not because the coffee got worse, not because customers stopped coming, but because building cafes in expensive cities required capital far beyond what independent ownership could sustain. The product was loved by everyone. The math answered to no one. And if Stumptown, one of the most respected independent coffee brands in American history, could not survive on love alone, then you need to understand exactly why. Because the same pressure that changed Stumptown is sitting inside every beautiful cafe you see today. So, you want to open a coffee shop. America spends tens of billions of dollars a year on coffee, and yet the average independent cafe can still die because 20 empty seats and one slow barista are enough to destroy the math. Coffee is everywhere. People drink it before work, during meetings, while studying, while driving, and after lunch. The demand is not the problem. And yet, coffee shops quietly fail all the time. Not because people stopped drinking coffee, not because the owner didn't work hard, and not always because the shop was empty. Many coffee shops fail while customers are still sitting inside, while the Instagram page still looks beautiful, while regulars still say, "I love this place," and while the owner is still smiling behind the counter. Because the coffee shop business is not really about coffee. The real product is not in the cup. And if you do not understand that, a $5 latte can become the most expensive mistake of your life. By the end of this video, you will understand what it really costs to open a coffee shop, where the money actually goes, why a full cafe can still lose money, and why even Starbucks had to close hundreds of stores. Subscribe if you enjoy calm business breakdowns that reveal the hidden numbers behind businesses that look easy from the outside. Before you sell your first cup, the cafe starts eating money. A small cart can start for much less, but a real sit-down cafe in a good location can easily need hundreds of thousands of dollars before opening day. The espresso machine alone can cost as much as a used car. Then come grinders, refrigeration, water filtration, ice machine, counters, furniture, lighting, signage, permits, insurance, software, inventory, branding, staff training, and renovation. And renovation is where the first trap appears. Maybe the plumbing is not ready. Maybe the electrical system cannot support commercial machines. Maybe the bathroom does not meet code. Suddenly, your simple coffee shop needs another $50,000 or $100,000 before it can legally open. This is where many first-time owners make their first expensive mistake. They spend money building the cafe they imagined before proving that enough people will buy from it every day. Now let's talk about the cup. A latte sells for $5 or $6. To a customer, it feels expensive. To a new owner, it feels profitable. But the cup is lying. Because the cup does not include the person who made it. It does not include the rent, the manager, the slow afternoon when 3 employees are on shift and only 7 customers walk in. It does not include the milk that expires, the pastries that don't sell, the broken grinder, or the card processing fee. The drink can have a good margin. The business around the drink is expensive. A coffee shop is not one business. It is 5 businesses in one room. A tiny factory, a restaurant, a retail store, a hospitality business, and a real estate bet. In a healthy, independent coffee shop, the numbers work like this. And these percentages are the same whether you open in New York, London, or Lagos. Ingredients and packaging. 28 to 32% of every dollar. Labor, 28 to 35%. Rent, ideally under 10%. but in premium locations it regularly reaches 15 to 18%. Utilities, repairs, insurance, software, and card fees, another 12 to 15%. Add these together, and you are already at 80 to 95 cents gone from every dollar before the owner takes anything home. Most first-time owners calculate profit from the drink margin. They see a $5 latte that costs $1.20 to make and think they are earning $3.80 per cup. They are not. They are making a contribution toward a machine that costs money every single minute it is open. Even if nobody orders, the clock is still running. The staff is still being paid. The lights are still on. The rent is still counting. Dwayne Sorensen understood coffee better than almost anyone, but even Stumptown, with its national reputation and loyal following, could not outrun the math of expanding into expensive cities. The percentage does not care how beautiful the shop looks. It does not care how good the coffee tastes. Now, there is one more trap most owners do not see coming. According to a 2019 survey of 232 independent coffee shop owners, between 50 and 74% of independent coffee shops fail within their first 5 years. Around 17% close within the first year alone. The key reason is not demand, it is unit economics. Every table in your cafe has a revenue ceiling. If a customer buys one $5 drink and sits for 3 hours, that table made $1.67 per hour. If your rent is $8,000 a month and you are open 300 hours a month, you need at least $26 per hour from every single table just to cover rent. Not labor, not ingredients, just rent. Now picture a beautiful cafe on a Tuesday afternoon. Laptop users everywhere. 7 drinks sold in the last 2 hours. The cafe looks alive. The math is bleeding quietly. A full room is not a safe business. A full room is a problem hiding behind good lighting. A restaurant wants table turnover. A coffee shop accidentally invites people to stay. That is why many profitable cafes are not designed like living rooms. They are designed like machines. Counter position, pickup area, menu size, seat layout. Because speed protects profit. A slow barista can destroy the morning rush. A confusing menu creates a line. A line makes a regular customer leave. And when a coffee customer changes their morning habit, getting them back is very hard. This is where the real lesson lives. Coffee is not the product. Habit is the product. A small cafe thinks it is selling coffee. A strong coffee company knows it is selling a repeat behavior. The same customer, the same route, the same order, the same emotional reward. Again and again. One person buying a latte 4 times a week for 2 years is not buying caffeine anymore. They are buying a small daily ritual. A moment of control before work. This is why location is everything. A coffee shop does not need the whole city. It needs the same few hundred people again and again. And the shop must be inside their daily path, not near it, inside it. That is why rent is so dangerous. The best locations are expensive because everyone knows they are best. Choose a cheap location, not enough people. Choose an expensive location. The people are there, but the landlord takes the profit. This is the coffee shop paradox. The location that gives you traffic also takes your margin. Now let's talk about Starbucks. In 2008, Starbucks announced plans to close hundreds of underperforming stores in the United States. This was Starbucks, with the brand, the trained staff, the data, the loyal customers, the national recognition, and the systems. And still, hundreds of stores did not work. Not because America stopped drinking coffee, but because some stores no longer fit the math. Wrong traffic, wrong rent, wrong return on capital. The same invisible problems that destroy a small cafe can hurt the most powerful coffee brand in the world. The difference is that Starbucks can survive a mistake. A first-time owner usually cannot. Starbucks became powerful because it built a system around habit. Mobile ordering, rewards, seasonal drinks, drive-thrus, airport stores, grocery products. It is not just a coffee shop, it is a coffee system. Now here is where the story gets stranger. If Starbucks succeeded through system, can someone build the same system faster? That is exactly what Luckin Coffee tried in China. More stores, faster, everything through an app, discounts to pull customers in. But in 2020, the SEC found that Luckin had materially misstated its revenue and operating losses. The company paid $180 million to settle the charges. The lesson is not that Luckin was dishonest. The lesson is why the pressure to be dishonest existed. When a business is built on the promise of a system before that system works, the gap between investor expectations and real unit economics becomes dangerous. Starbucks took decades to build a system that worked location by location. Luckin tried to build the appearance of that system before the foundation was real. And Stumptown built the product beautifully, then discovered that great coffee alone cannot fund expansion into the most expensive cities on earth. 3 different approaches, 3 different ways the math won. Now let's see what that math looks like for a new owner. The cafe opens. First week is exciting. Friends come, family comes, local pages share it. The owner feels the dream is working. Then week 3 arrives. The opening buzz fades. Afternoons are slow. The owner adds pastries. Half do not sell. Then sandwiches, then matcha, then seasonal drinks and vegan options. The menu grows. The operation slows. Employees get confused. Waste increases. Customers wait longer. Then the landlord raises rent. A key barista quits. The espresso machine breaks on a Monday morning. A competitor opens 2 blocks away. The owner cuts 1 employee to save on labor. Now service gets slower. Regular customers start saying, "I'll just grab coffee somewhere else today." And suddenly, the owner realizes the cafe was never really profitable. It was only busy. Busy is not the same as profitable. The owner did not lose because nobody came. The owner lost because the business needed 300 transactions a day and the neighborhood gave 180. It needed a $12 average order and customers spent $6. It needed fast turnover, but built a room where people stayed all afternoon. This is how a beautiful cafe becomes a financial trap. Not overnight, 1 slow hour at a time. Now let's calculate it honestly. Startup cost, $300,000. Monthly sales, $75,000. Annual revenue, $900,000. That sounds excellent. Ingredients and packaging, 30%, $270,000. Labor, 30%, $270,000. Rent, 10%, $90,000. Everything else, utilities, repairs, insurance, marketing, card fees, roughly $160,000. Total expenses, around $790,000. Profit before taxes and debt, about $110,000. That can be a good business. Payback in 3 to 5 years. Now the bad version. Sales are not $75,000 a month. They are $45,000. Your rent does not drop. Your loan does not care. Your employees still need hours. At $45,000 a month, the shop may still look alive, but financially, it is drowning. Now the owner has 3 bad choices: cut staff, raise prices, or work every day for free just to keep it alive. This is the moment when a business becomes a job that bought itself with your savings. The cafe was not fake. The customers were real. The coffee was good. The dream was honest, but the math was stronger. Dwayne Sorensen built one of the greatest coffee products in American history, but even he found that a product people love is not the same as a system people can sustain. He had to sell to survive. Most small cafe owners do not even get that choice. They just close. A coffee shop does not fail because people stop drinking coffee. It fails when the owner sells coffee but forgets to build a business around the habit. Location brings the customer. Speed protects the rush. Labor control protects the margin. Menu simplicity protects the operation. Repeat habits protect the future. And cash discipline protects the owner from becoming the unpaid employee of their own dream. Because a customer sees a latte, the owner must see rent, labor, time, waste, speed, habit, and margin. That is the difference between a coffee shop that feels successful and a coffee shop that survives. Coffee is not the product. Habit is the product. And that is why coffee shops look profitable, but most quietly fail. Now here is the question most people never ask. What does a coffee shop look like when the math actually works? Not Starbucks, not a chain, not a brand backed by private equity. A small, independent cafe, profitable, honest, sustainable from day one. That model exists, and it does not look like what most people expect. That is exactly what the next video is about. Subscribe so you do not miss it. Because the dream is the easy part. The math is where the real story begins.